Hello and welcome to Now What, the Next Steps podcast here at Malibu Pacific Church. Hey, if you haven't heard this week's sermon, it was with Urban Promise International's director, Bruce Main. Press pause on this podcast right now because we're going to be talking a little more in depth about what happened here this past Sunday at Malibu Pacific Church. But if you're still listening, you probably would listen to the sermon. Or, you know what, I'm just not going to tell you how to live your life. So keep listening anyways, all right? So, hey, it's me, Joel, and we have...
Andy. How y'all doing out there? Hey, Joel. How are you?
I'm doing real well, actually.
Good.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid Sunday, man.
It was great.
Oh, my gosh.
Great weekend.
Full house. On top of that, you just felt the Spirit moving. You felt, I don't know, it was just great worshiping.
Yeah.
And then people wouldn't go home afterwards.
I know. We... Tell everybody what you do if you haven't been here. You have the Disney... Where did you get that? And explain to everybody what that is.
Totally. I had a friend who gave me all the secret records of Disney. So he was the president of the parks, and he gave me all these really deep cut songs and recordings from Disneyland. And every time Disneyland closes over their PA system, a person comes out and sounds like me, like when I open up the podcast, and they're like, Disneyland is now closed for the
great.
It's operational day. We hope you have a safe time driving home. Bye, everybody. Kind of a deal. And then Mickey Mouse sings, MICKUI, and the whole crew, and they're like, bye, bye, or whatever. And so at the end of every event, I play that.
It's so great. It is so great. I bust up laughing every time. But even after you played it, this event is over, nobody would leave.
Nobody would leave because it was a beautiful Sunday here in Malibu.
Gorgeous.
On top of that, the fellows of Urban Promise International, which we should probably dive into, were here. So Bruce Main started this amazing organization in the 1980s, early 1980s, and has grown two really large organizations called Urban Promise and then Urban Promise International. Urban Promise helps with kids in Camden, New Jersey, and various sites in the United States. As of right now, they have over 25 sites, so they have 25 site directors, and one of our mission partners is actually in Canoga Park, and it's called Urban Promise Los Angeles, so it's extended out to the West Coast. They also have a couple international sites, but they also have this other big organization called Urban Promise International.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they are finding people in these different countries who are wanting to start certain sites of helping with kids after school, foster care, orphanages, building schools, hospitals, and various things like that. And so the fellows, what they're called, we had 8 of them visiting our church on Sunday. And Andy got to hang out with them Saturday night as well.
I did, yeah. One of them, his name is Ken, and he started an orphanage school in... not Kenya, in
Ghana?
No. Malawi. Thank you. I forgot just for a second. Sorry, everybody. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he has 102 children, and just had a chance to have dinner with him and with other members of our church who were hosting. And he just shared the story how his life was changed through Compassion International when his father died and became an orphan himself. Because I was wondering what his motivation was for starting a school. Very intelligent. He has a master's degree. And I'm just like, why don't you go into business or something and make a lot of money? Mm-hmm. And this is what he's doing. He says, well, because somebody changed my life because of compassion. And now I want to do that for others. I was like, he broke my heart. So he no longer works with Compassion. Maybe I wasn't clear on Sunday. Or actually, you can have partnerships with different organizations. It doesn't mean because he was a Compassion funded child, but he is now partnering with Urban Promise, who's giving him education, got a master's degree, and is helping him to raise money and supporting him in building buildings, 4 buildings, and wants to double, triple the students or kids in his school. So anyway, that's what he's doing now because he was impacted. Now he wants to help other children. And all I was trying to say on Sunday was because one person funded or helped this one child. Now that one child, Ken, is now impacting 100 lives. Who I believe God is into multiplication. God is not a God of addition. Yeah. He multiplies. Yep. So now one person is impacting 100 And I think each one of those children, because they've been impacted, will now go into their country and impact another 100. So
Yep.
that's a cumulative, multiplication
Yeah.
that lives are being changed because of that. And so, yeah, absolutely amazing what's happening.
Absolutely. And so now he's with Urban Promise International, and he's in the United States for, I believe, 2 years, working on another master's degree. On top of that, being equipped and trained inside of the Camden, New Jersey university that Bruce runs.
That's right.
And so they're traveling to different churches in the month of May, and Malibu Pacific Church has been a partner almost from the very beginning.
20 years is what Bruce said. That's a
Absolutely.
long time.
It's a very long time.
Yeah.
Our past senior or lead pastor, sorry, Greg Hughes, actually was working with Bruce when it was starting up in Camden, New Jersey. So they've had their friendship and their partnership too. And it has spilled on over these last 20 years. And the cool thing, though, is that the church, we've had so many new people that this was actually just the first time getting to meet Urban Promise International. And we're having a lot of people asking a lot of questions, which is really great. Like, what can I do? How can I help? And we absolutely love that. So we want you to hop onto that website, urbanpromise.org, to find out a little bit more about that program. We are super into missions here at Malibu Pacific Church. We do not think insular basically ever. We're constantly thinking about the outward focus, right?
Well,
Andy?
it's our biblical mandate. Let's not forget it as a church. I think a dead church is because they've forgotten what their marching orders were, which is Jesus' very last words, Matthew 28, go. That was the operative word. Even out of the tomb, the women go to the tomb and the angel says to them, go.
Okay.
And then Jesus then also says at the very, very end, Matthew 28, the Great Commission, go. Go into all the world and make disciples. The moment a church becomes inward focused, it is dead, and I would say God has left the building. I mean, John 3:16. I mean, John is summarizing the mission of Jesus. Years later, he's writing this letter, the history, documenting what his experience is before he dies.
Yeah.
And we have this book of John, named after himself, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. So really, the church, everything about the church should be about outward focus, go, go, go. And God forgive us when the local church becomes inward focus.
You sure it says world? I'm pretty sure it's about just the believers
The
or
world,
the
no.
church.
Yeah.
God loves the church, right?
The world, the go into the world. God loves the world.
Oh, no. God loves the person who puts up the sign that says, don't bring coffee in here.
I don't think so. I don't know what verse that is. I'm still looking for it.
I don't know.
The other one is, sorry, I guess Joel and I are on the wire here today. Boring is not one of the fruits of the Spirit. I think joy is. You know, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit.
Yes.
And we had some people say that, I think, on this Sunday, say, wow, it was joyful, it was happy, it was wonderful, I loved it.
Is church supposed to be like that?
Yeah, actually, it's a fruit of the Spirit, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know what church is boring. What is the opposite of joy? You know, let's be boring.
Yeah.
You know, that's just not even in the Bible.
Wait, we're having a ladies' night and they're going to Stonehouse. We can't do that as a church.
Have some fun.
Wait. The men are going axe throwing. We can't do that.
Yeah, well, tell us when that is. Yeah,
so
we're gonna have some fun.
May 24th and 25th. Check that out on the app. We have a ladies' night only 18 and over, and then axe throwing is 18 and over as well. The guys are going to get together and throw some axes and talk life as well.
Yeah.
We really think...
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Really think that not every event should be on the church campus, too. It's great. We have these facilities, these resources, and majority are. But we also want to hang out, not just on a Sunday
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've been sitting here for a while, many of you, and we have a lot of new people in our church.
Yeah.
But you cannot get to know somebody by looking at the back of their heads. You can't get to know somebody sitting in a row. So the next step, it is fun, but it's actually, everybody listening to this, so you know, it is very strategic to build friendships or relationships so we can go deeper in our walk with Christ, so we can encourage each other, so we can help each other grow in our faith. But if I don't know you and I don't know what's happening in your life, I can't encourage you.
Totally.
So yeah, it's axe throwing, it's fun. But it's also, we're building relationships.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're called to do.
Yeah, we're going to hang out on a Thursday night. take off our shirts. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, build a fire and
Build a
grunt.
fire.
Yeah, that's what men do.
Absolutely, yeah. Just get ready for the next event, the Meat and Meat, where
That's
we just
right.
cook meat and meet each other. All right, there
that's
we
right.
go. All right.
So anyway, I don't know how we got off on that,
sorry.
but it was just a fun day. It was fun,
Totally.
and church should be fun.
It should.
Because what is the opposite? Boring?
Boring.
Yeah, I can't find the verse. The church should be boring. I'm looking, still looking, haven't found it.
And if you want to find a boring church, we can tell you a couple.
We can help you. We will help you.
We'll find,
we will
right
find one for you.
Absolutely.
And you'll fit right in.
Absolutely. So, again, we love missions, and May is our May Missions Month. That every Sunday, we are highlighting one of our mission partners.
Yeah.
How many mission partners do we have, Andy?
We have 15. We have 15 mission partners. About 6 that are international, and the rest are local or regional, I should say. And so one of them is the James Storehouse, which we're going to be talking about next week.
Yeah, this Sunday, James Storehouse. We've done a lot of partnership with them. Actually, we've done 2 food drives. I'm just saying in the last 6 months, 2 food drive, clothes drive. On top of that, helped out with
presents and at Christmas.
Oh yeah, presents at Christmas.
Thank you, everybody.
Toy drive. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, everybody.
Man, generosity here is crazy.
It's been really amazing.
I know. So much so that I'm like, oh yeah, I almost forget all this.
So by being more outward focused, is actually helping in our generosity and outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's alive. It's good to be here.
So James Storehouse works with people from the cradle to college is their main slogan, and they help with foster families and foster children, foster youth. And it was started about 15 years ago, and it is just one of the best mission organizations. If you want to check them out, you can go to jamesstorehouse.org to find out more. jamesstorehouse.org. They're always looking for volunteers, and they always have really amazing events all around the corner. So if you're trying to get plugged in, hear more about them this Sunday coming up on Mother's Day. And then we have another mission partner the week after that, Andy. You want to talk about them?
AIM. Yeah. And one of their main guys, Matt, will be here. We're going to interview him and talk about that. AIM is an organization that is helping young girls get out of sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. And they actually go into these the houses where they are holding these young girls out in Asia, and then literally taking them out and rescuing them literally. And they're also just starting in Belize. But we'll find out more about that, and don't miss 2 weeks. Absolutely. About what we're doing as we're supporting AIM and getting young girls out of the sex trafficking.
They did a whole 60 Minutes episode.
That's right, I forgot about that.
And Dateline, and they also have a movie about it as well. And we'll be giving out those resources and those links here in the coming weeks.
I wonder if we can put it on our website or something, just so you could check that out. Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Hey, it's a podcast. It's a real conversation
It
here.
really is.
I don't know.
It really, yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get links on that.
We have a missions page.
Absolutely. And if you go, MalibuPacific.church/missions, you can see all of our missions organizations, and every single one you can click on, and it'll take you to their website and the stories, so you can find out exactly where your generosity is going. You're helping fund all of these mission organizations.
That's a great idea. Yeah, go to our website and look for missions and see everything we're doing here.
For sure.
We get that question a lot. Yeah. What is it? So it's all right there.
It's all right there. It's on the front page. It says missions. Click on it.
Yeah.
All right. So May Missions Month, as we highlight these amazing opportunities, we want to get you plugged in. Since we are serving 15 different ministries, on top of that, our local church and the city of Malibu and the surrounding cities too. There's a lot that this church does. It's pretty mighty for the size of church.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah, it really is mind-blowing. So I want to ask you a question, Andy, from your past church, which was fairly larger than this church.
Yeah.
How much mission work did you do up there?
Boy, it was a lot, but not so much international. We really only picked a couple, so I'm really amazed what's happening here internationally. We did a lot in the city and supported a lot of also different organizations like the Redwood Gospel Mission. It's like the Union Rescue Mission, but it's right in town. And some great things happened there when you also do things locally. They started sending vans of people in recovery that were living there. And so our host team on Sunday morning was It was the guys in recovery.
Amazing.
I mean, tattooed up and looked rough. They were the ones handing out the bulletins.
I love it.
And in the parking lot greeting people. So you go to New Vintage, it's you're tattered up and earringed up and but they would say to us, handing out the bulletin, let me just give you, it's pretty emotional, that this is the first time in my life I have served someone else by handing out a bulletin, something as simple as that, and this is changing me.
Wow.
I was blown away by that. We say, hey, can you hand out a bulletin when people walked in? Yeah, they were nervous to do that. I was like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
He says, I have never done something for somebody else. It's always about me. And that's the thing about addictions. Mm-hmm. Addiction is a very selfish thing. You're trying to medicate. I don't care what the addiction is. Mm-hmm. And all of us, I think, are in recovery. All of us have some sort of an addiction. But it's selfish because we're trying to medicate because there's a pain. And so even in AA, one of the steps is to go and serve. And serving, we're finding that people even here, our level of serving, or people starting to be in ministry and helping people find a ministry and serving, is really bringing people alive in their spiritual growth. Wow. And I don't understand that how that happens. If I were God, I would do it differently. But God has chosen that people would serve in his body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we found that serving there was life-changing, and it's happening here too.
Absolutely. I always love the stories of, going on a missions trip or serving, where it's like, I'm going to go change other people's lives. But whose life is really going to be changed the most?
Yeah.
It's usually the person who's serving. Yeah. So many times I walked away with that, especially in my junior high and high school years of I'm going to go to this country and be a savior. And then I come back just not even more broken, but more filled, because I go, all right, Lord, you used me in such a way there that it helped me grow. So we want to get you plugged into serving here at Malibu Pacific Church in these various missions with the local church and in the city. So if you want to go to malibupacific.church/serve or hop on the app and click that serve tab, you can find a really good spot to do that. I'm hearing a lot of on-ramps to I don't know, growth as a Christian, whether that's a fun thing like going to Stonehouse and axe throwing, or working alongside a missions organization that is working with human trafficking. I mean,
or being a small group leader for 30 minutes with children and helping them to apply. So there's nothing more powerful than having an adult sitting in a circle and helping young kids learn for themselves and making their faith their own at that age. So one of the most you're making disciples and you're changing the next generation.
Absolutely.
So whether it's international or even on a Sunday morning, when you serve, you will be changed, but you're also impacting another life.
It blows my mind how many things this church does. And it's really amazing.
It is amazing.
It's not just the hour on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's everything that's going on all the other times too. But it is great to gather on that hour during that Sunday.
Well, get plugged in somewhere. Do something.
Yep.
Take a step.
Boom. There you go. Well, thank you so much for listening to Now What Next Steps. This comes out every week, and we look forward to the next episode. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you like watching video, you can actually watch Andy and I on YouTube doing this podcast, because we make a lot of hand gestures as we talk. If you're more visual, I'm just kidding. But if you want to check that out, we also have brand new, all the music from Sunday mornings. We're sending out the playlists on Spotify and Apple Music. If you're loving the music that's going on Sunday mornings, you can check those out on the app or on the website too. Get plugged in and click that subscribe button, and then hit that share button with a friend too. Somebody you know who needs to hear something. Also, last thing, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or hand gestures about past sermons or things that are going on in the church, we'd love to answer them here on the podcast. We like to go deeper. We love to hear from you. So please send those questions to me, Joel at malibupacific.church, Joel at malibupacific.church. And if you really want to have a question with Andy, just go talk to him on a Sunday. He's available. He's a good dude.
That's right.
With that said, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Take care.